Okay, so let's get right into it. We all have this idea, right, that being super intelligent is basically a golden ticket. You solve problems in a snap, you just breeze through life. You've got it made. But what if that's not really the full picture? When you really dig into it, it turns out that having a powerful mind can come with its own unique and sometimes really heavy struggles. So you have to wonder, is this superpower always a good thing? Sometimes it can actually feel more like a burden. I mean, this quote really just stops you in your tracks, doesn't it? A prison you build without realizing it. That's a pretty intense way to think about it. Let's unpack what that actually means. And we're going to start by looking at the battles that happen inside the mind. The first and probably biggest challenge starts right here in your own head. For a lot of highly intelligent people, their mind just never shuts off. It's this constant hum of activity, which you can imagine is both a gift and just completely exhausting. One of the most common ways this plays out is something called analysis paralysis. I'm sure you felt this. It's when your brain is so good at seeing every single possible angle, every pro, every con, that you get completely stuck. You overthink it so much that you can't make a decision at all. And you know how this shows up in day-to-day life. It's that constant mental replay. You find yourself going over conversations again and again in your head, picking apart every word, searching for hidden meanings, and just second-guessing everything you said long after everyone else has forgotten about it. But it's not just about the past, oh no. The mind is always jumping 10 steps into the future, running all these constant simulations. It's trying to predict every possible outcome, which can be amazing for strategy, sure, but it's also a recipe for some serious anxiety. This pattern spotting ability also applies to people. A brilliant mind can notice subtle shifts in tone, behavior, and emotion that just fly by most of us. But being able to see every potential hidden motive, it is absolutely draining. It can make you really sensitive to negativity or manipulation. So you see what's happening here. All this processing power creates this immense internal pressure. It leads to this crippling perfectionism because you can picture the perfect outcome so clearly. And when reality doesn't match up, out comes the harsh self-criticism and this huge fear of failure. And on top of it all, this kind of mind often wrestles with big, heavy questions, about purpose and meaning and what it's all for. The philosopher Voltaire absolutely nailed it with this one. This is the perfectionist's trap in a nutshell. Chasing that impossible, perfect version of something often stops you from finishing or even starting something that's just, good. Okay, so that's the storm happening on the inside. But what happens when that intense inner world has to interact with the outside world? Well, when you're operating on a totally different wavelength, social stuff can get complicated. A really big source of friction is just plain old conversation. A lot of highly intelligent people really crave deep talks, about big ideas, concepts, the why of things. So things like small talk about the weather or what someone did over the weekend can feel not just boring, but physically draining, like a total waste of mental energy. And being on that different wavelength can lead to some pretty painful social outcomes. It's easy to feel really isolated and misunderstood, almost like you're speaking a different language. Sometimes people might even see you as awkward or intimidating. All of this makes it incredibly hard to form those close, genuine friendships, which can leave you feeling lonely even when you're in a room full of people. And let's not forget the constant pressure from everyone who just expects you to be brilliant all the time. No pressure, right? When you look at all of these challenges, both inside and out, you might start to wonder if high intelligence is more of a curse than a gift. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be. It's not about trying to be less smart. It's about changing the relationship you have with your own mind. And that's the real question, isn't it? If your own mind can feel like a prison you built yourself, how do you break out? How do you take this incredibly powerful thing and turn it from something that works against you into a tool that truly works for you? Well, the way out seems to come down to two crucial mindset shifts. First, embracing curiosity. This is the perfect antidote to that analysis paralysis we talked about. When you're curious, the goal isn't to be right, it's to learn. It keeps your mind open. And second, practicing humility. This one directly tackles that social isolation. Humility lets you connect with people without any pressure to prove how smart you are. It lets you learn from them, which is key. And ultimately, this all leads to a whole new definition of being smart. Real intelligence isn't about how much you know or how well you can defend your current ideas. It's actually about your willingness to be wrong. It's about your ability to listen, to adapt, and to let your ideas evolve. Which brings us to this final thought from Socrates. And this isn't about being ignorant, not at all. It's about having the humility to recognize just how much there is that you don't know. And it's that humility that unlocks the door to real learning, real connection, and finally turns that prison of a brilliant mind back into the ultimate tool. So, what do you think is the biggest misconception we have about intelligence? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video valuable, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss content like this.